You're listening to the 808s and Joysticks podcast, now available on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
Welcome to the 6th episode of 808s and Joysticks, the show that bridges the gap between games, music, seasoned with pop culture. I'm Tyrell, and joining me today, as always, is Tom.
As always, it's been a busy week again in the gaming and film industry in the last 2 weeks. And we're just going to kick
Even the music industry as well, to be honest.
Something that I sort of missed there, but yeah, even the music industry. But we're going to kick it off with Belgium, and in relation to gaming this week, they have actually made loot boxes illegal in Belgium now, so they're considered criminal gambling in Belgium. And this is something that's been going on for a long time in the gaming industry now. Everyone's sort of been on the back about loot boxes and whether the legality behind them, whether it's allowed, whether kids are allowed to do it, because it is sort of gambling unless you state the odds, which in Japan they do on some games. But games such as FIFA, Overwatch, and Counter-Strike have been named in this scandal, you could say, that the Belgian Gaming Commission has determined that those three games sort of are a possibility to gain a fine and could possibly face further fines and prison penalties. I'm not entirely sure what they mean by prison penalties and who they're going to put the blame on for something like this, but it's an interesting sort of thing in the gaming industry now that this has become such a big thing, and all these companies that are making so much profit off something like this are now going to have to change their entire system.
Yeah, exactly. And it's weird as well, because now you're seeing the bigger news YouTubers covering it, like Jim Sterling, Young Gear. They're really put a proper focus on their channels anyway, to basically just point out all the shortcomings of the gaming industry and basically just talk about all these predatory natures that they try and trick the gamer into thinking that they need to buy things in order to enhance their gameplay, or just things that should be in the game as a whole. Like, this whole loot box thing is really, really messed up. And I don't even think it's not even because we're grown-ups. We're past the age of, well, I'm 21. Tom is past the age of 21. And it's not something that's going to really affect us because we kind of we've got a good moral compass. It's not even about morality really, but it's kind of we know our limits, but some people really just don't. And this is how people can end up getting into serious debt. They can get their parents into serious debt, especially in regards to younger children. I think it's really predatory, and yeah, there's a rating on the game for a reason. And FIFA is I know you play FIFA more than me, Tom, but isn't it a 3+ game?
Yeah, FIFA's a 3+ game.
See, exactly. There's nothing in there that is apparently supposed to be dangerous, but games can get an 18 or a 15 rating for having virtual gambling in there, but you've got real life gambling within a game, and they're still getting 7 and 3 as a certification. And I think it's really disgusting, and yeah, something really needs to be changed worldwide. Really, it shouldn't just be a certain country or state or certain areas bringing out legislation. It should be a whole universal thing. But I don't know, I'm pretty sure you agree with a lot of these points that loot boxes do really need to get banned. But as I say, it's up to the gamers what they want to do. As long as people keep buying them, they're not going to go anywhere.
So this is something that is sort of being covered now that you've just covered. Various countries are looking into this further now. So the US have been looking into it for a while. Hawaii have considered not selling video games with loot boxes into buyers under the age of 21. Um, the Netherlands have discussed publishers may need to change their game for them to be able to sell the game in the country. I know Germany has a strong opinion on games in general, and Australia as well. Certain games, they crack down upon them. So there's a lot of countries now that will be looking into this, and for example, that not so much the higher age rated games, but the lower age rated games, it's probably going to be a real problem for them, because that their target audience is those younger people, and not being able to sell to them is losing a massive majority of their audience. And they're going to have to think of something where, because realistically, that's how they make most of their money now, through online modes where they sell stuff like that. And
Yeah, but I feel like is really wrong. I know you're saying that like they make the most of their money like that way, but they really don't. All they're doing is making extra profit. Like, it's not even like they're trying to make like money to make a game. Like, these are big games that have already generated, probably about FIFA and Counter-Strike, that must have generated about 1 billion by now.
Yeah,
like
this is the difference between FIFA and Counter-Strike. So FIFA makes all that money from in-game profit, but then like EA will pump that back into the company, and they'll put more independent on the fact that they earn him more, so it affects them in the long run. Counter-Strike's not as bad because of the fact it's only like, it's still the same game. It's not a yearly release.
yeah.
So,
but that arguably there as well. With I know what you're saying about your point about FIFA, but I think it's really like EA have more money than, you know, what they even know to do with. They're closing studios left, right, and center. They generate so much income. They even got a lot of money from Star Wars still, and that whole fucking thing happened with it, and they still managed to get a lot of money from the game. So I just gotta think to myself, like, you're making all this extra money. It's just because you're a greedy company. Like, that is what it is. It's just greed. Like, everyone knows that like EA is not a very nice company anyway. Like, in terms of like how they, you know, treat their players or whatever. And I just think it's just wrong, and you shouldn't be doing it. And there is a simple solution, Tom. Just take the loot boxes out. Like, you don't need them in there. It's not necessarily a thing. It doesn't like it shouldn't be weighted against you that it affects the gameplay in such a way where.
But this is the weird, like, Overwatch, Counter-Strike, Star Wars Battlefront. They don't need loot boxes. FIFA doesn't have loot boxes. It has packs. I understand that that's like, it's not needed, but for that game mode, like, it's important. And the fact that you could,
I know what you're saying about the packs, yeah, but I've always thought that was a really fucking stupid
but listen,
game
like,
feature
listen,
anyway.
If you listen to this, right, since we were children, what did we used to collect when we were children? We used to collect stickers or cards and stuff, like trading cards or stickers. You collected them in packs.
No, you can't.
But
no,
yeah, but it's the same. Like, from
it's not the same.
From another point of view, it's the same sort of thing. You're buying a pack, and like,
you don't own it though. You don't own that pack. You would never ever physically have that in your hand. At least with football cards, you had it in your hand, and stickers, you had it in a book. What we do with these digital cards? Can you sell them? You can't sell them. You can't get. You're putting money into a game that you've already spent £70 on or £60, depending if you get the Ultimate Edition, which lots of people do get. You get the special legendary.
It's the confusing thing, because you can virtually sell them, can't you? Like,
no, we are, but Tom, you're not gonna get your money back though.
No, well, you won't get your money back, but you're still, like, in the long run, if you don't have to buy them to play Ultimate Team. You could play Ultimate Team without buying them, but some people like to do that, and it helps them play. Like, it gives them more enjoyment playing the game that way.
Well, all I'm saying is, you, say for example, you as a parent, you're just like, you're letting your kid go on their Xbox or their PlayStation or whatever, and you look at your bill and you can see that they've spent £200 on FIFA packs, What And are you just gonna be okay with it?
Well, you're not, but coming from the other point of view again, right? If you're a parent and you're letting your kid use an Xbox online with your card hooked up to it, shouldn't you look further into it before
But you got to
realizing?
think to our parents. Do our parents like are they that tech savvy that they're gonna know things? Some people's parents just don't know shit like that. You know, they're just like they set up the Xbox for them. The card payment was on there to pay for their Xbox Live to roll over. These little kids are just like, oh, I'm just gonna buy this because they don't really know the concept of money yet or what it means to like spend on things. They just think everything probably comes for free. And next thing you know, you're racking up big debts for some cards that you're never going to physically own.
Hmm.
I've never understood why, like, say for example, back at school, yeah, like high school, man used to spend all £200 on these cards. They don't have a job, you know. And like, we are 14 years old. Like, I just couldn't put it through my mind how you can spend so much money on some cards that you're never gonna get. And I know what you're trying to say, that they're like digital cards. You can't even sell them. That's just the thing that just doesn't like. I remember when we used to play the Star Wars card game, innit?
Yeah, but
But like,
that's top.
but
That's still Topps trading cards, and they
yeah, and we could actually trade those cards, and we could actually sell those cards for real money. But these
well,
cards can never be sold, and plus, does it even roll on to the next game, like the next FIFA, or is that a new? You have to buy some new packs again.
nah, every FIFA it changes packs, so you don't
That's
carry
some.
stuff
That's
forward.
some. That's some bullshit as well.
Which yeah,
Fuck
I'm
that.
not saying that I agree with what they said. I'm just trying to say from like a different
From
point of
yeah,
view.
yeah. I know what you're trying to say from
Like
like a
it,
consumer
it's a
standpoint, aren't you?
really
Like,
confusing area with something that, like, obviously
mm,
it is gambling within a video game, but it's not gambling to the degree that a loot box is, because you can play you. It's a game mode built around that, whereas the other things are put in for that sake.
then no, I'm not. See, I feel
And
like
it's
we're both getting confused because it is gambling because you don't know the outcome of what card you're going to get. You need to kind of know the
hmm,
odds of what you're going to get.
but
So it
for
is it's a gamble because you're not. It's blind.
for example, Pezzo also has like a game mode that's similar. They show you the odds of it because they have to in Japan. So if they show you the odds of what you're gonna get, it's it's still gambling, but that's what this whole sort of argument is built upon in Belgium and in different areas, is that they don't see the odds of it, so it's classed as like criminal gambling. But
Yeah,
if you put on the box, it's got in-app purchases, and then you show the odds and stuff, and you put like a double check on buying stuff, I think that that's like a way to keep this stuff in a game, but just add that extra bit of security. Because I personally don't think there's anything wrong with Ultimate Team. Like, I don't play it myself. It's not the most enjoyable game mode. I don't buy stuff on it, but a lot of people enjoy playing that game mode because of the collecting aspect of it, and it's up to them whether they want to do that or not. But at the same time, if kids are going to be playing it, you should have precautions in place on the box and in game, so parents are aware and kids can't just buy something in like a click.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly the something needs to be in place. Me on the other hand, I have a problem with Ultimate Team. I've never understood it. It's stupid. Like I don't really know why you want to collect some digital cards when you can go out and collect real football cards. And the thing is, if you did go and collect real football cards, these are the same people that will tell you that, oh, why are you collecting physical football cards? Are you such a like a kid or like a baby or whatever? Like you're literally a grown man collecting digital cards. Like so, I just don't. I've never really understood it. Like it just baffled me to the point where I was just like, I'm never gonna play this game. Like, why am I gonna spend money
So
to like?
it's more the fact that you're collecting something, but then it gives you something in game as well. Like I think that's where it links
But,
those two things
but
together.
Tom, you're not collecting it because you have a new game every year. Why am I collecting something for a
Yeah, but
year?
people collect it over the season for reasons unknown to me. but they collect them, and that's like they basically only play one game throughout the year, or like a few other games, but that's like their main game, and they'll pump a lot of their stuff into that, their time. Not so much money all the time, like people just pump time into it and just grind until they get good packs.
Yeah, yeah, I can see the grinding aspect, which I think is a really fucked up, you know, side effect of this whole thing is that, oh, you don't have to pay for loot boxes, you can just grind for them. Like no one has the time to be grinding 600 hours to get a pink Darth Vader costume. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's wrong. Like it's not even weighted properly. Like you can either pay or you can grind 600 hours to get everything. Like you got to think about like the modern person does not have 600 hours in their life to do it. Yeah, some people do. Like, you know, professional streamers and whatever, yeah, they might have 600 hours, but not even that because they've got to keep their stream audience entertained. They can't be streaming Star Wars Battlefront 2 all the time and then playing off screen as well. It's going to be draining for
Well,
them,
te-
draining for the audience.
technically, Star Wars Battlefront 2 isn't included in this actual commission ruling because they removed their loot boxes before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it no longer technically is classed as a game that gives a chance of gambling. But I mean, it as a sort of
Still a lot of grinding though in the game.
yeah. But I mean, like staying on that point of Star Wars Battlefront, because of all the stuff that surrounded this, they had to remove the stuff for that reason. So it sort of worked in that defense as well, because it did make the game better for people that are currently playing it. However, like the launch of the game and stuff, it just sort of ruined it all. So it worked both ways for them. But overall, I think it worked out for gamers, which is obviously the benefit everyone wants in the industry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Like that's all. I just want I just want it to be fair for gamers overall. Like I just don't feel like it's fair how we're being treated when we're the main consumers. Like we are the ones who like make these corporations all of the money, and people are starting to see through the bullshit. And I know that like companies are starting to get a little bit scared. They're starting to be really cautious. They're starting to make a point of, oh, our games don't have any loot boxes in them. Like they're really trying to like make sure that they get like the gamers back on their side so we can trust them again. But as long as there's your average casual gamers out there that just they only have 3 games a year and they don't mind buying all the DLC and all the loot boxes and all the packs and all the other additional stuff that comes along with it, that's fine for them. Like that's fine for like EA and stuff like that. They only need a small percentage of those kind of people in order to like give them the maximum amount of profit.
Yeah, it's I think we could speak about this for
Ever. Yeah,
probably
we could
ages.
probably have like a whole podcast on it, which I wouldn't mind exploring it because there's a lot to it. Because speaking of how like Europe at first was not really like they didn't really want to look into the loot boxes, but then after like America started getting involved, they started investigating it. So yeah, there's a lot, but you know, let's move on to more positive news anyway. There's been 8 games that have been confirmed for E3. Do you want to read out the list, Tom, or should I read out the list?
Well, I've got it in front of me now, so I could read it out. The Last of Us Part 2 is the first game on that list. That obviously was announced at, I believe it was E3 last year, or it might have been PSX.
No, I think it
I think
was.
it was PSX.
No, I think it was E3 first, and then they did it.
And they did it at PSX again. Okay.
Yeah, they did it at PSX. Yeah.
So obviously that's a PlayStation exclusive.
You think that's dropping this year
I'm
or next year?
I'm debatable because they've delayed a few games that are Sony exclusive as well. So it depends. Like I think it depends on all the other things around it. I don't think it's something you can predict.
Because there's been a big game this year already within God of War, and it's all I'm thinking.
You've also got Spider-Man coming out in September.
And then we don't know what Death Stranding's doing, but I'm pretty sure that game is nearly done now.
And
So
Days Gone has got delayed until sometime, either later this year or next year, I believe. And that again it's not the same, but it's like a zombie survival game. So
yeah, it's
I
very
don't think they'd want to
yeah.
release two games like that in such short thing of each other.
I can see that getting pushed back to nearly probably the end of 2019, maybe 2020.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
though.
mean, I'm excited for that game, but I think it's
It
going
looks
to be
cool.
one of those that drags out maybe. Anthem is another game that's coming out now. This is, I think it's by it's by BioWare, and
Hmm.
it's like their sort of take on Destiny in a way. Um, I don't really know what to expect from this. It's looked okay, but it's never like stood out to me so much. Um,
Yeah,
so and
it's kind of like I kind of get like Mass Effect vibes from it, but then like it really takes like a turn for like not Mass Effect. I don't know. It's definitely trying to be Destiny though, like like EA's version of Destiny. So
yeah,
we're just gonna have to see what it's gonna be like.
I mean, I can't give details on it because I'm not that invested in it, and I've not seen that much gameplay that I've paid attention to. But I don't want to call that it's going to be a flop now. But if it is, then it could mean the end for BioWare, which is worrying. But
Yeah, it
two
is.
games and two flops within the last like 3 or 4 years. It doesn't really hold up well for them.
Nah, it's not looking good. It really isn't looking good for
Especially
them.
when EA have already considered it. Um, maybe maybe this is like the sort of game that they've put out and said, right, if it doesn't work, then we'll just cut it off and we can focus on other areas.
Are you what's that game called, man? Dragon Age. Aren't they working on that as well?
Possibly, yeah, but I mean that doesn't stop a company from shutting another company down.
No, it doesn't. Hmm.
Um,
Hopefully not.
yeah, so Battlefield 2018 as well, or Battlefield 5, whatever it's called. Not really got much information on that yet. It's all been leaks. To be honest, not that excited for it. Battlefield 1 was good, but I'm not a big FPS player. It depends what they do with it. I think we'll have to wait for more information to see
Hmm.
what comes of that. The Division 2, again, the Division was one of those games that I think was like lots of it was expected when it came out. It didn't perform that well, but then it sort of jumped back up again.
Yeah, the
Um,
community around that is really strong at the moment, which is like it's a bit weird, but it's really strong. And apparently they made massive improvements on the gameplay, so like the dark zone and stuff like that. I heard like that's really improved now, and there's a lot of like extra areas and things that you can do in the game. So for them to come out with a number two is a bit weird, but we already knew they were coming with Division Two from when did they announce that? They talked about that, didn't they? Like at one of the major shows. I don't want to say it
uh,
was E3 already. Well, I felt like it was.
I think it was E3.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh yeah, the Division Two's on the way." That yeah, I remember. Yeah. Hmm.
Just to point out as well, these are games that are playable on the floor and are confirmed. They're not games that are like rumored to be there. So these are games that will be playable on the show floor. So Fortnite is the next game. Obviously, that's going to be there. Um, of course, everyone knows that it's on. It's out on everything apart from Switch at the moment. There's rumors that it will be on Switch. Possibly announced that at E3. Um,
That'd be a big move still.
could be why it's on the show floor there, but it's going to be on the show floor there no matter what, considering the year it's had so far. Um, the next game, Roller Coaster Tycoon Switch.
Let's just skip that.
Yeah. My advice would be, if you do see that game and you like Roller Coaster Tycoon, don't buy it, because it's just a port of the mobile game, and just don't buy that game. Don't
Just don't.
just
Don't.
yeah, just don't.
Just don't go. Just go and play number 2. It's the best one ever.
Serious Sam 4, Planet Badass.
See, I know Serious Sam, yo. I don't think I've ever really played a Serious Sam game.
Yeah, neither. I don't think I have, but
I just know about it.
I'm not really sure what to expect, or where this came from. Just sort of came out of the blue.
There's a trailer, like a 34, like. Well,
Yeah, I mean
like a
it
55
looks
second,
it looks
trailer thing.
interesting. Depending on like where it comes out, I'd look to get it and stuff, but it's not something I've really played
Like,
in the past,
I like.
and it sort of came out of nowhere. I don't know when the last game did come out. I'll just check now, but I don't think it was any time recent. So 7 years ago.
Yeah, and I'm like looking at like the teaser, and like the game just kind of looks like it's just been like slapped together and Unreal really quick. Like I don't really know, like it just looks really shit. Like I don't know why they've even like bothered. Like it just doesn't look like a very finished game. Like
I think that's what it's meant to be. I don't want to go into detail because I don't really know, but I think that's what it's meant to be, sort of. But anyway, the other game, obviously, Super Smash Bros. Coming to Nintendo Switch, probably going to be released around Christmas time, fall Christmas.
yeah, I'm saying like they always say like, oh, released in the holiday
season
or
it'll
whatever.
be, yeah.
Yeah.
But depending on the new Pokemon rumors, whether that'll be there or not, that's not confirmed. But we'll just have to wait and see. But talking about games that have been at E3 previously, Detroit Becoming Human comes out a month. Well, I was going to say a month today, but it's not. It's probably in about like a month from when this episode goes out, just under. And the demo is on PlayStation. We both had the chance to play that, and I mean, I played through it. I didn't know what to expect, and I thoroughly enjoyed that game. It's something I've been waiting for in a game for a long while. It felt immersive, but also like I was watching the story unfold as well.
Yeah. You ever played Heavy Rain, Tom? Have you ever played it or like...
No, so when Heavy Rain came out, I didn't have a PlayStation. I've looked to get it on PlayStation 4, but never had the chance. But I think it's the same developers behind it.
It is. It's Quantic Dream. They did Fahrenheit, or it was called something else in I think in America. So we had like Fahrenheit, which was like the first game of its kind. Very good game. I remember playing that when I was a kid. And then Heavy Rain is amazing. Graphically, what they managed to like achieve on a PlayStation 3 is out of this world. And then I never played Beyond Two Souls because I just wasn't really interested in the whole storyline of it. But I heard that is also really good. Not as good as Heavy Rain though. And then this game is like a super upgrade from like a concept that's already been used. And I didn't really know how they did that.
This is the thing. It's like it has the flows and stuff, and there's so many sort of paths you can take down certain things, and that's just for the one scene that you play through in the demo. It is mentioned that this whole thing, every decision that you make affects every decision going forward in the story that you take. So it's like it plays into each other, and it seems like it'd be a really good thing to play, but it's got replayability. It's not like a sit through game. Like a lot of the Telltale games, you can play through them, but then you sort of played through them. Whereas this, for example, you could play through the demo 5 times and get 5 different outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just for like a small. I mean, it took me probably 10 to 15 minutes to finish that scene. But that's like 50 minutes of gameplay that you play through once. But then if you go through and play it 5 times again, you've already got like more than an hour's worth of gameplay out of that one little bit. So I think value for money wise, it's going to be a good game to get for that. But it just like the story also looks really interesting, and all the concepts behind that. Androids being like slaves, and people ordering new ones to replace the old ones, and like abusing them because they don't see them as real humans, and then like the consciousness becomes greater, and it's a lot of sort of intertwining things, but it seems like it's going to be a really interesting story to play through. And I think I heard that there's 250 voice actors playing over 500 characters in this game. So that's a lot of things that have gone into this game.
So they basically got like playing over 500 characters, did you say?
Yeah.
So they're basically playing like 2 characters each. That's fucking crazy. I had no idea about these stats. Wow. That's just...
But that's where I'm...
It's crazy, isn't it? That's actually wild.
That's where I'm sort of coming from, that it's different from previous games. Like, I've not played Heavy Rain or Beyond Two Souls, but I've watched people play them and stuff and know how it works. But this just seems like it's on that upgraded level, but like by doing that, it makes it sort of an entirely different concept of game completely, because it's like a narrative but with open-endedness.
Yeah.
Whereas before you had that, but it's not as open as it is now.
No, like now you've got such a branch of different paths to take and stories, and yeah, it's very, very, very detailed. And I know why it took so long now, because this all started from a tech demo, and then it's been developed quite slowly over the years, and now it's finally come to this, and it looks flawless. It feels great to play. I like how all the mechanics, everything flow into each other. It wasn't too hard to pick up. Like, even my girlfriend played it. She found it quite easy to like follow. So I'm thinking they might have a hit on their hands. And PlayStation, they've been doing good with the exclusives. A lot better than Xbox, because I don't know what the fuck they're doing, or what are they doing over at Microsoft? Who knows? Like, because they ain't coming out with nothing. Like, I don't even know what's the next big Xbox like exclusive to even come out. As obviously they have PUBG, but they couldn't even do that right.
That's announced or not announced?
That's like been like talked about or announced at least.
So rumors that Halo's coming out, but it's coming to PC still as well, because obviously they're now doing that PC crossover thing. So
wait, another Halo already?
Yeah, I think it's been it's been long enough now. It's normally like 3 years between them.
Oh, the last Halo was trash. I don't even have Xbox, but I played the last Halo on someone's Xbox, and it was nothing like Halo, in my opinion. They proper dumbed it down and made it like a Call of Duty shooter, and that's not what Halo was in the first place. So
well, there's like small rumors that that's what's coming, but I didn't want to get into too much detail about it because it's not something that's like confirmed as much.
Yeah, I understand.
But yeah, we're speaking about Detroit becoming human and Beyond Two Souls and stuff. That is actually a game that's coming to PlayStation Plus for free this month. Beyond Two Souls, which, I mean, we never got the chance to play it. We've just played the demo for Detroit Becoming Human. You said you loved Quantic Dream, and now you're getting this game for free. So it's like a nice lead up to Detroit Become Human. If you're interested in buying that game, then play the demo, and then if you've got PS Plus, play through this game. And if you like it, then I mean, it's a no-brainer if you like both those things to go and buy the game then. So
Yeah, this would definitely give you a um like if you want to get an impression on like what's to come, like gameplay and narrative wise. There, Beyond Two Souls is a very good game to play, and also I think you can pick up Heavy Rain really cheap now. So if you want to play through Heavy Rain, it's a great game as well. Even if you've got a PlayStation 2 and you want to play Fahrenheit, that's a great game as well. I recommend all of those games from Quantic Dream. Um, what's that? What else is what else? Rayman Legends as well. Great, great Rayman. You can't go wrong with Rayman really.
well, this
Um,
Rayman Legends is like it's been around for a while, but it's a really good 2D platformer from Ubisoft, obviously including Rayman.
Art style was crazy.
I I think to be honest, like it's a game I've wanted to play, but I didn't really want to go out and buy too much. I'd wait until it came along, and
Mm.
now it's here. I will play it because I like Rayman, and I've heard good things about the game. So I mean, can't really complain when you're getting those two games for free, um, with your monthly subscription. Then moving on to Xbox games for gold. Um, Again, quite a decent lineup for Xbox this month as well. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, is coming with games for gold for Xbox One. And then Super Mega Baseball 2, which I don't really know what that is, but I think it's like so it looks like an arcade style baseball game where you create your own team, sort of like cartoony-ish, but sort of like NBA Jam esque, but baseball. So
Oh, okay.
I think like if you're interested in baseball and you're interested in sports or something, or you wanted to play a game that's a little bit like that, then that's a nice game to sort of have. But obviously that's not a pleaser for everyone. But that sometimes happens with the subscription games. Sometimes you get sports games in there, and I mean, it's not for everyone. If that's not for you, then you've got Metal Gear Solid 5, and you can't really complain about getting that game for free.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. And for Xbox 360, we've got the Sega Vintage Collection of Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage is a sick game. Probably one of the classic beat 'em ups that defined a generation. And yeah, it's just all around cool soundtrack, cool art design. Yeah, I really like Streets of Rage. Really brings me back to my childhood when I used to play Sega Mega Drive, and it's a really good game. I suggest if you got an Xbox and it's for free, just download it and maybe just play something from the past. How games used to be before everything went 3D and loot boxy. And then the next game is Vanquish, which is a game that influenced many shooters. Like it's a game that not many people played, but it is very influential. From the gameplay, how fast it is, and how fluid it is. From like the cover system, uh, definitely suggest it to play that if you like shooters, especially if you want fast-paced shooters and lots of action and gunplay and explosions. Like I would definitely say play Vanquish. From the developer behind Bayonetta, by the way. So if you like Platinum games, then I'm pretty sure you'll mess with this. And that's it for games for Gold and PlayStation Plus. They had a couple of ones like the Vita and that, but they weren't that great. Um, Moving on. The Nintendo, Nintendo has a new president. I'm not really quite like sure why, but
There's not much reason why. There's just a surprise announcement that Tatsumi Kishima was going to step down, and Shuntaro Furukawa is going to take the reins. I think I said those right. Um, but yeah, apparently he's gonna take over. He's a slightly younger um man. I didn't really know what to say there. Yeah, he's 46, younger than the previous president, and that means that he's actually grown up within the era of video games, playing them a little bit more. Um, he said personally that he grew up playing the Famicom and he's come from that generation. And as a member of management with Shigeru Miyamoto, he has a lot of respect for him. But on the other hand, his new job can't just be that. He expects to say what needs to be said to run the company. So what he's basically said as well is that he's not afraid to make change if change is needed. And I don't think I have a problem with that with Nintendo. I think, to be honest, it's something Nintendo needs to try and do. I know they're still innovative and they bring out new consoles and stuff, but some of the games that they bring out, like their IPs and stuff, apart from Mario Rabbids, which was like a crossover, and obviously Odyssey, they don't seem to like switch up their other IPs that much gameplay wise and stuff. Pokemon, Kirby, Yoshi, Toad, for example, Donkey Kong, like they're the sort of games that they're not really that focused on switching up that much. Obviously Zelda and Mario, like the big games that were released on the Switch, people are going to say, well, they changed this and that, but we have had a 3D Mario before. I know it hasn't been done in a while, and they did change a lot for Odyssey. I also know that Breath of the Wild was like a really good game. I have played it. But at the same time, like, it doesn't mean that you can't take an IP and put it somewhere completely different and just see what can happen. Like, they own all these amazing IPs, and a lot of the time, things like Kirby, they just put out a game and it's the same Kirby gameplay, just slightly different, like, story or aesthetics and stuff, and it's like, that's fine, but you could do more with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like Pokemon, for example, is another thing where they've stuck to the same basic concept for years now with Game Freak, and they've not risked ever taking it to a home console apart from like Pokemon Stadium or Pokken. And
I've got a suggestion, Tom. Pokemon developed by, wait for it, Treyarch. No, can you imagine if Pokemon was given to a third party developer? I probably think the game would be shit.
Yeah, I'm not saying give it to a third party developer.
No, I mean like I could never imagine Pokemon being done in a different way. It's why I know we discussed before that we need some new elements, but like I don't really know what to add to Pokemon, to be honest, to make it like
yeah. But why can't they take off from? I know they do like Pokemon Snap and stuff in the past and whatever, but why can't they take off from that and actually make like a different type of open world or 3D game that's not just a fighting game? On the Switch? Why can't they? So when they did things like, I think it was I can't remember what it's called. It's like Pokemon Dungeon or something, and you basically just control like Pikachu and Pokemon. Like why can't they do that?
Oh, I remember that.
Why can't they do that in 3D? Like it's still
fuck,
Pokemon.
what's that game called? Was it called Mystery Dungeon or something like that?
Yes, Mystery Dungeon.
Yeah, Mystery Dungeon was alright, That was like the first kind of
why can't they take that in 3D and sort of apply something to it? Like, I think that would be a nice concept in a 3D aspect.
Well, you got a thing in it. You got Detective Pikachu. I don't even know how good that game is done, like sales wise. Like, is it popular? Is it good? Like,
I don't know, but I don't. By like taking Pokemon in a different direction, I don't mean like taking the main character out and dressing it up in a little suit. I mean like,
see, the thing is, it wasn't even it wasn't developed by. Oh, okay, they've developed a lot of Pokemon games. And what they haven't developed, they've developed more of like the side games, so not really anything major. So I think they were. No, there wasn't really. They don't really created any of the ones that we know. They've done like modeling and like 3D like texturing and like they've done like stage design and stuff like that. Like they've helped on a lot of the games with like like coalition with Game Freak, but they haven't really like done it though. Like Game Freak is the one that does the main things, but they created Earthbound and Mother. So a pretty reputable company to be honest.
Yeah, I still think that they should keep the main series games, like possibly change it up or like reboot it. Um, or you could like run some in tandem. So like if you are going to change it to 3D, maybe reboot the old ones in 3D and start again or something. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there's no reason why you can't. Um, or take it from a completely different aspect, like Mystery Dungeon, but in 3D or something, and do like an action game going through as a Pokemon. So it's still got that fighting element to it, but it's not a main series game, but it's still got like the feel of being a AAA game in a way.
Yeah. See,
I,
but I feel like on the Switch and Nintendo, they can get away with not doing the whole everything needs to be photorealistic and slow mo and really dramatic. Like they're the developers who brings fun into
yeah,
everything.
well, I'm not
So,
saying like photo real, but you could take something like Kirby or something, take that format and just make like a Pokemon game based on that. I mean, it might not be the best selling thing ever, but it's like you could change it up and do something like that. It's a lovable franchise and it's a game that people might want to play.
hmm
I mean, you get different abilities in Kirby. Pokemon leads perfectly into the fact that you get different abilities. It just surprises me the fact that they've not done more with a franchise as big as that, with so many options in the time that people have been in charge. Um, but it again, it's like older people that's how it's always worked, so that might work. Whereas a new president coming in saying like I've played since Super Famicom, or Super Nintendo, um, basically like I enjoyed all the games on that. Uh, he's probably always wanted certain games to be on different consoles or certain games to have different things, and it's nice to have that element now inside of it. Um, especially the fact that like he's working so closely with Miyamoto as well. Like Miyamoto obviously works with people, but someone that's like on the same level as him, that's had experience playing his games from a young age, I think that might work quite well.
yeah, yeah. I, I, ju- I think that this new president, he's younger, he's got some young blood in him. He might be able to take more risks. It says here in this article on Fortune that he's willing to think differently and build on the ideas that the late great Iwata left. So hopefully that means developing the Switch even further, building third party relationships, and I'm hoping that he doesn't get too bogged down by it because he is a very young president, and I know that at Nintendo they do have some internal issues regarding like the senior members wanting to get their way over like other people having their ideas, if you know what I mean. So, but I think that's more so to do with like the structure of like corporate Japan. Like I think it's very like it's more about respect over there, isn't it? Really, because that's the same thing that happened with Konami. Kojima disagreed with one of the board members or the head or the president, and they were just like, "You can't disrespect the president." And Kojima was like, "Fuck you guys! I'm going to Sony to make the best game in the world."
I mean, we've not seen the game yet, so
Tom, it's the best game in the world. That's all I need to know is it's the best game in the world, and that's it. Um, I think we're gonna move on. Are we moving on to films and TV, or
I mean, yeah, we just to sort of quick mention that God of War is out. It's had like really good reviews, um, but at the moment, none of us have had the chance to play it. So I think we're probably going to save until we've actually experienced the game ourselves to discuss it,
mm-hmm.
rather than discuss
Mm-hmm.
based off like a few gameplay videos or something. I also
Yeah,
want to play through it, so I don't want to watch gameplay videos to spoil it for me.
yeah. This is definitely a game that I want to play because I've been a God of War fan since I was a kid, and I know I probably shouldn't have been playing it when I was a kid, but the game was fucking sick. It was like so much blood and like swords and like the Greek mythology. Like I just love Greek mythology and stuff like that. Like I would literally spend hours researching like monsters and stuff from the game just to like get more insight on like what they're about and like potentially their weaknesses and stuff like that. Like it's a great game. It's really good, and now they're tackling
It's Norse mythology now.
yeah, mythology, and yeah, I just can't wait. We've got Dad Kratos now. He's humble. He's got beard. Yeah, should looks good. He's got a kid. Damn.
Yeah, there's also a photo on the internet go around of Kratos without his beard that I think Sony posted out. So if you're interested in that, go and look at it. I wouldn't recommend it, but
Is that the one of him smiling?
yeah, it looks a little bit
Oh
different.
yeah, it looks fucking weird, man. I was
So,
like, Kratos is smiling. Looks so weird.
but yeah, we can move on to films and TV, and I'm not sure where to start here. I'm not sure if we go straight in with
Well, how are we gonna do this? Like, I feel like we're gonna have to review it. We're gonna have to review it every time we
so
come on the podcast. Oh,
I mean
because
I don't think we should give spoilers away.
oh no, we won't. We'll do it like
But
how we talk about Atlanta. We're referring to Westworld, of course, audience. Sorry, you're probably thinking what the hell they're on about. Yes, Westworld is back. One of the greatest series of last year. It was so good. It's so different. I've never watched anything like it before. It was just crazy, and this first episode was wild. There's many theories. We have a group chat where we talk about it, and we're just bouncing off theories in there. And yeah, I definitely recommend everyone to watch it. This season is very different. It's not like season one, and we can see that there is some slight differences in the tone and how it's like playing out at the moment and what kind of characters we're seeing. It's in a very, very different space compared to the last season. I don't know if you want to further expand on that, Tom.
yeah, so obviously if you've watched the last season of Westworld, you sort of know where it's left off and like what's happening currently in it. But it like it's really exciting to see where they can take it further because of what happened and stuff. Obviously, if you haven't watched it, I don't know what you've been watching on TV, but go and watch it because there's not a lot of things that are better than that to watch. I just felt like that needed to be said. It's a great show. If you are interested in looking further into it, like just after you've watched it, go on Reddit, maybe. Just see. It's not recommended, but it's enjoyable to watch. There's a lot of stuff going on again. It's basically one big mind fuck, but that's what's so good about the show because you never know what the hell's going on, and you can watch an episode 5 times, and you'll still miss something.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking crazy. Like, there's so many things in it that we didn't even notice until like one of our friends would pick up something and be like, "Oh, but did you see this in there? Or did you see that?" And we really can't talk about it without spoiling it, so we're gonna have to leave it for a bit. Like, at least maybe we might delve into some some subtle kind of plot points. Um, like it starts off with Bernard.
Oh, mm,
No,
no,
no.
I don't think so because I don't think a lot of people watched the actual first season. I think a lot of people started watching it and then didn't finish it. Um, but I think if you haven't finished it, like go and finish it and start the new series, and it it's just good. I don't know how else to explain it. You can, it's more the fact that you can like watch it from so many different points of views. Every time you watch it like a different point of view and see it differently, and then everyone watches it slightly differently, and that leads on to what you can pick up on in the show or how you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Go on.
I like the story's really good, the concept's really good, but the fact that they're not just left it expanding on that concept of it being a theme park, and that's I don't think that's a spoiler. If you don't know what that is, then I'm not sure where you've been living for the last 2 years. But yeah, it's the fact that they can expand on that and it not just being based around that so much anymore is really sort of interesting.
Yeah, like it's took it to like another scale now. So I would say definitely check it out. It's shot very well. It's like every episode is like a film. It's very long. If you like Game of Thrones, if you like shows like that are long, like long form and shot very well, like you're watching like a movie every time you're watching an episode, you would definitely like Westworld. It's not similar in what the content is or anything like that. But if you like twists and turns and you like good characters and great character development and good script writing and direction, definitely check out Westworld. Especially if you like robots and cowboys. There you go.
Yeah, and
So,
if not, you can watch Cowboys versus Aliens.
that film was so ass. Oh, have you actually watched that film?
No,
Oh man, Tom, you need to watch it we need to watch it for jokes because it's terrible. It's got Daniel Craig in it. It's fucking awful.
yeah, it didn't interest me as a concept.
No, it's really terrible.
But I mean, yeah, I mean that was a nice segue that wasn't intentional. But talking about aliens, the Venom, like another Venom trailer came out this week, and we actually got to see Venom this time. So be it just a little bit at the end, but we did get to see Venom.
I heard that. I heard that is like that is a large portion of time we're going to see Venom in the film as well. It's not sounding great for like the film itself.
But that's like the portion of time we see him in the film.
I heard that like I feel like that's like one of the sections we're seeing, but I think Venom himself like that fully
Yeah.
masked up. He's only in it for like 4 minutes, so I just don't know how this film is gonna go or do.
So surprisingly, I was like watching this, not really expecting that much, and then I was like, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I do like it in a weird way. I think the art, like some of the promotional material for the film, is absolutely awful. Like they could have done a lot better design work on half of the stuff they've done for that.
Wait, one sec. I'm checking it out. I haven't even seen it.
The-
What?
the-
How can you fuck up a Venom poster? You literally
The Venom logo's trash.
put his
It's
teeth
awful.
put his teeth and eyes and tongue on the
Yeah,
poster, like minimal wise.
They've done that.
Is that what they've done?
And then the logo just doesn't fit at all.
Okay, let me check this out.
But yeah, it's
Wow, this is ass. Why does it look like that? I never noticed this, but why is it just like chromed out and silver with red behind it? Why has it got red behind it when Venom is black/dark blue? What?
I think it's trying to link to Spider-Man in a way, and it just forget about the promotional material because that's not the film. But
Yeah.
it was interesting seeing how they took the symbiote route and stuff, and um how they're going to play out in the film, and how we sort of like it's weird seeing like this villain gain these powers and become something like that. I think it's going to be interesting from that point of view. Whether it's going to be done well or not is another question. Um, but it was interesting nonetheless. I'm still looking forward to it a little bit more than I was before. Probably not going to be my favorite film of the year. I probably won't even go and watch it, to be honest. I might go and watch it if I'm near a cinema, but I probably won't go out of my way to go and watch it.
Mm.
And the Venom CGI at the end did look a little bit. They sort of they took the cartoon Venom and made it CGI.
Don't you think? Don't you think that all of it just kind of just looks a little bit just mediocre?
Yeah, I understand they don't have apparently they don't have a big budget for the film, but it's like if you're going in to make a film about an alien creature, then did you not consider that before you started making the film?
There's literally like I'm looking at like posters now, yeah, and the like you've got the actual one, but I'm looking at all these fan made posters, and they're like 200 times better than the actual poster. Like this poster is terrible. I don't know who signed this off. It's awful. I don't know about this film, man. I really don't know. And Tom Hardy as well as Venom as well. I don't think he fits the role, in my opinion.
Well, I'd see. I like Tom Hardy.
The more I watch it, I'm just like, does Tom Hardy? Like I thought, yeah, Tom Hardy's cool, but like I like Tom Hardy, but I don't know now.
I guess we'll have to wait and see when the film comes out. Maybe another trailer will drop soon, and we'll see a bit more. Other than reaching the point where you might have seen all the Venom scenes in the trailers.
It's just weird because obviously Venom was supposed to come out near like around now, like May.
Yeah, it's been
obviously
pushed.
it got pushed to October.
It got pushed back because the X-Men movies got delayed or something.
Yeah, the X-Men movie
is confusing.
That what's that one called? The New Mutants. That shit looks ass as well. Like.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
Loads of stuff's been like delayed, and we've gone into that in previous episodes.
Yeah.
I just want to give a quick shout out because I haven't seen the film as well, but to A Quiet Place, a film by John Krasinski, Jim Halpert in the U.S. Office. If you watch that, someone you wouldn't expect to make a good horror film. But apparently this film is like really great. I've seen the trailers. The trailers look really good, and I do want to go and watch it. I think I might go and watch it very soon. But it looks a really good film, and a sequel has already been signed off and is apparently already in development. So if you are a fan of horror films and you liked that film, or want to go and see it and then like it, then there's another one coming out, and I think that's. It's good to see that, again, like comedy actors and writers such as Jordan Peele and John Krasinski are making these films, and they're becoming like not so much critically acclaimed. Well, Get Out was critically acclaimed, but this hasn't been yet. But they're getting a lot of praise, and I think that's good in general. That like more people are getting the chance to do more creative things in that industry.
Yeah, because the horror genre is stagnant. Like, there's nothing in Hollywood coming out wise that is like really scary, in my opinion. I watch a lot of foreign horror films, like Korean, Japanese, Thailand. Like, I watch like foreign horror films, Spain. Everyone does horror better than like Americans at this point. But then there is some hidden gems, like as you say, Get Out. A Quiet Place, I've heard great things about it. I really do want to watch it as well. There's another one as well, which is like a psychological horror. Something to do, is it called like Insane or Unsane or something like that? that's supposed to be all right.
I have no idea. Um, so yeah, I don't really haven't really been following that many horror films and stuff, but it's just like a quick shout out that if you haven't watched it, apparently it's a really good film. Maybe give it a try if you're into that. Moving on from that, there is actually another new thing that was announced this week by Disney. A new animated Star Wars show premiering this fall on the Disney Channel, and it's going to be called Star Wars Resistance. It's got like an anime-inspired look, is what has been said, and it's about a pilot named Kazuda. I'm not going to try and pronounce his second name at all, but it's about a pilot. It follows on what happened between just before the Force Awakens. So again, it's like a nice tie-in to the canon stuff of the main Star Wars films.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like the art style this time looks like something that's more suitable that I would watch. Whereas the last things such as Rebels and Clone Wars, I didn't really watch that much because the art style wasn't that great for me. It was like off-putting a little bit. I don't know if I don't know if you have the same opinion on this or.
Yeah, we was kind of like we had like a little brief kind of conversation about it before we went to record the podcast, and I was just kind of just like, I hope it's not really kid orientated, but I feel like it is going to be really kid orientated, and that's not a bad thing, but I just don't know. Like I'm kind of just neither here or there with it. It's got a really good cast of like voice cast.
Yeah, so Oscar Isaac and Gwendolyn Christie are reprising their roles as well.
And Donald Faison from Scrubs is going to be in it. There's quite a few in Jim Rass Community. There's a lot of like big stars like are kind of like going to be on there to do voice acting. So I don't know. It probably will be all right, but we've seen some of the comments. I've checked the comments from several pages, and many fans are just not really here for it, and they don't care. So I feel like it's not going to do that well. But you know, these are the fans that are commenting are grown men.
I mean,
it doesn't matter what they watch. It matters what the kids watching it. So, and if kids like it, it's gonna have longevity
and
at the end of the day.
Rebels was a like it doesn't seem like it, but Rebels was a big success. I think.
Rebels
like,
was
for kids,
massive.
It's massive,
Yeah.
but like adults still watched it. But
Yeah.
if you wanted to watch, you could watch it. If you didn't want to watch it, then you don't lose out on the Star Wars story still. Like, so the people that complain are it annoys me because you don't have to watch it. Like, if you're really interested that much in the story, then like put up with it and watch it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, don't complain.
Exactly. If you don't want to watch it, just check out the episode synopsis, or just wait until someone puts their review or impression on the episode, and then you read that if you want to get the information, because this series does serve as a like a bridging of the gap between I don't know what point of the story. I think it's just before the Force Awakens.
Yeah, it's just before the Force Awakens. And it's so the guy that is creating this is the same guy that created Clone Wars and Rebels. He also notes that the current show is working on Resistance, is inspired by his interest of World War II aircraft and fighter pilots. And he says that the show will be inspired by anime, which we've mentioned, but it's a different take on like a Star Wars animated series that we haven't really seen before. But it seems really interesting to me that this could be something that's going to be like interesting to watch a little bit more. Whether people are interested in it or not, is a completely different story. Everyone's always going to be interested in other stuff. For those other people, Disney are also working on a live action television series set in the Star Wars universe for their upcoming streaming service, written by Jon Favreau, who does Iron Man. It's not clear whether this and that are going to be connected or not, but people are going to have a wild amount of stuff to watch based on all those IPs when Disney launches their streaming service that has all this stuff on it. So we're not going into detail about that because that's just like a massive other topic that you can speak about for ages.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think we should move on to music as we've still got a lot to cover, and I mean time's really sort of ticking down.
Yeah, it is. Just a little tidbit. Yeah, Batman Ninja is out right now. I heard it's pretty good. Go check that out. Anyway, moving on to the music. Georgia Smith announced the new album. What's the name? I can't remember what the name's called now. I feel like you know more than me because you listen to it a lot more.
Yeah, well, there's a song of hers that is
it's on the playlist,
included on the playlist from last week, the week in between the podcasts.
Lost and Found. That's what the album's called.
Yeah, and the song that was included in the playlist is Blue Lights. It samples Sirens by Dizzy Rascal. Sirens by Dizzy Rascal is also in that playlist. So if you want to go and listen to that, then check out the archive playlist from last week, or check out the complete collection where it's in there as well. J. Cole also released his album last week, KOD, and there was a song from that in there as well.
What did you think of the Cole album?
I thought it was okay. Like, I've never been a massive J. Cole fan. I was a really big fan of Born Sinner. I did really like that album, but not a lot of the other stuff has resonated with me as much. I thought it was like good, but I wouldn't say it was like really good or mediocre. I'd just say it's like good.
Yeah, it was just I agree. It was a solid album. I liked the message on it. I liked how he marketed the album and how he's kind of doing it in like a way where like the last song on the album is the intro to another album. I think that's really cool. So I this is probably my favorite J. Cole project from him since he started doing studio albums. I only really liked his mixtape Friday Night Lights. It's a great mixtape. I suggest anyone to listen to it because it's really, really good. And I've never really liked his albums because I just found them a bit boring. Like Born Sinner was alright. I like Forest Hills Drive was had some pretty good songs on there. For Your Eyes only had like 2 good songs that I really liked. Everything else is fucking boring. Like, I just don't know. Like, it's the thing about Cole. Like, he's top 3. Like, he sells well. He's top 3 new school rapper. That's what it's him, Drake, and Kendrick, who are all there competing because they're the 3 that have the most popularity, and they do the sales, and they, whenever an album releases from them, the whole world stops. You know what I mean? Like, there's not many people that can able to do that. But like, I just don't know. Like, he just, some things he says in there is just like corny. Like, there's a song called Photograph on there, which is just about like Instagram girls. I'm just like, but J. Cole, you're like 30 something. Like, why are you talking about this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't know sometimes. I don't know. But I do like how he is tackling drug use and about like, mental health issues and stuff like that within the black community because, yeah, it's important for a rapper of his stature to talk about things like that and to also talk about like all the like the little pumps and stuff like that, like, and talk about rap and how like, he don't mind that like they rap a different way than him, but he's just talking about making sure you get your money right because those kind of like people, they don't last that long. Like, and they can lose it all. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, think about how many rappers we used to listen to, which have like faded into like irrelevance now. So it's true to make sure you maintain your relevancy, but also make smart business decisions as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, KOD did break streaming records as well when it came out, beating Drake.
Hmm.
So I got the figures here. I think it was so 36.6 million plays on Spotify um, was what he got to beat out Drake's previous record, and 64.5 million plays on Apple Music beat the previous record held by Drake as well, which was exclusively released on Apple Music. So that was views on Apple Music and More Life on Spotify. But it was by over 1 million streams on Apple Music, and I mean that's not a bad thing. I mean, it doesn't necessarily say the album's really good. It just says a lot of people tuned in.
Hmm.
But also, since Views was released, there's been a lot of people that have started using like the service as well. Streaming has come a long way since then. Streaming is still relatively new, records wise. So, I mean, records are constantly going to keep being set until there's like a standard met.
Yeah.
Um, and to sort of link into that, Post Malone released Beer Bongs and Bentleys, his long-awaited second album as well, this week. I've listened to that quite a lot, and I wasn't sure to start with, but now I'm really sort of liking what he's doing with it. But then he broke records like basically less than a week after J. Cole broke records, which means that like it's there to be taken because of the fact that people will still start listening to these things and it's still relatively new.
Hmm.
So on Spotify, Post Malone's Beer Bongs and Bentleys globally got 78.7 million streams. But then in the US, as compared to J. Cole, he got 47.9 million streams, which is like massive because I think J. Cole's Code D album earned 36.7 million streams in the US in the 24-hour period following its release. So it's basically like 10 million more streams, I think, which is it's not like a small number. That's quite a lot.
Hmm.
So it shows that while J. Cole can break records with an album, and everyone's saying that it's like possibly the greatest album ever because that's what some J. Cole fans do. Post Malone come out within a week and broke the record.
But
And
sorry, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. So J. Cole came out though. He came out on 420. And he announced the album I think only like 4 or 5 days before. Do you think he would have got maybe a bigger like audience size or whatever, like more streams if he was promoting his album for as long as Post Malone was promoting it for? Or do you think it will still be the same?
No, I personally think it'll still be the same. I think because of the success Post had with his last album and then the two singles from this album, I don't think that he would have outdone. I don't think what Cole got streaming wise was that good. I think he just like beat a previous record because a lot of the bigger artists have sort of like done exclusive deals since then and stuff. And obviously More Life by Drake was, well, it wasn't really just by Drake, was it? It wasn't like an album as such. Well, it's hard to explain what it was, but you get what I'm saying. Like Drake didn't release like a straight up album that
Yeah.
has been like available and everything at a certain time. Like Views was exclusive to Apple Music. I don't know, and obviously people like Jay-Z and Kanye and stuff, exclusivity deals. Chance was exclusive on Apple Music for the first 24 hours and stuff. So I think exclusivity plays a lot into it, but
Yeah.
I also think there's people that are bigger than J. Cole to break those records. And while like Post is big as well, I still think there's people that are bigger than them to come along and do that.
Oh yeah, of
Um,
course. Especially when Drake drops. Oh damn! Did we even? Has it been time past anyway since we've last discussed like that Drake announced the album? Did we announce? Did we talk about that in the last podcast? I can't remember. But yeah, obviously Scorpion has been announced now, June 29th or 28th. That's gonna break some records. I know it is already because Nice for What and God's Plan is like two of the biggest songs this year. Even bigger than what Post Malone's done and bigger than J. Cole. So I just don't know what's gonna happen with that, and
I
I don't know. Like it's
I
Drake.
also
Like Drake is he's the one in it. Like he will always come through and sell the most, like platinum first week or whatever in it. Like
I also think like leaning into that. So like Ye is coming out with new stuff as well now at the moment, and obviously he's released. Well, he's not released, but he's announced two albums coming in June. Like I think there's possibility definitely for these records to be broken very, very shortly. Like, there's no doubt about that they will be broken within this year. Um, if someone said to you, J. Cole, Post Malone, Kanye, and Drake have all released an album on the same day, I'm pretty sure J. Cole is going to be near the bottom of that list, with possibly like Post Malone near, but it depends on what people are listening to. Kanye might or might not. It's like one of those. And then I think Drake is obviously going to break the records because of the fact that he's got a following and so many people follow him that listen to different genres.
well, I just don't know. I don't know whether like Drake and Kanye they're like so big in their own rights, like, but like Drake he doesn't use the he's not about the antics and the bullshit. Like he's about just I don't know. He's took a very different direction for this album, like marketing wise. Like he did the God's Plan video when he handed out all the money, and then like and then you had the Nice for What video when he had all of the girls in there, and he's in support of like female empowerment and whatever. Like, so I just don't know. Like Drake is definitely trying to get himself back as like he's the good guy of hip hop again. Like, so I just don't know. I just don't know. And then Kanye, he's just off the shits and just trying to use as much controversy that he can in order to, you know, in order to garner such an interest around the album. But arguably, it's going to be one of his most important albums released. So I don't know.
Well, it's only 7 tracks, isn't it? And it's interesting. Like, I understand all the politics behind it and stuff is very sketchy, and it's not something that we've spoke about this like before the show. It's not something we want to go into on the show because it can move like out of hand. But he's definitely using it as a way to promote the album. From my point, like I think, and the fact that like Ye versus the People sort of implies that through the lyrics, says a lot. Like, it feels like he's trying to do something and it's garnering interest, and I think that's sort of the campaign he's trying to build now around the album coming up.
hmm I do understand. Like me and Tom had in our personal messaging that we had with each other. We're going to like a pretty, I would say, a semi-heated debate over what we think Kanye's doing and whether it's right or not. But that's neither here or there. Obviously, we're a podcast. We're here to discuss the music, and Ye versus the People. Um, it like
It felt
it's a
like
good it's a good song, but like I just don't know. Like
to me, it
I like
sounded like it was self-aware, like he was addressing
yeah.
issues that
It's
have been
almost
said.
it was almost like he was rapping. Like he made the song before all of this came out. Like he
Yeah,
knew
that
it
he
was
knew
all
it was
gonna
going to
happen,
happen.
but he didn't because Ti said he only met with him like I think like 2 days ago or yesterday when he did all of this stuff. He tweeted out about the signed MAGA hat and everything like that. So I'm thinking he must have just recorded this fresh, and the lyrics and what he's saying, I don't know. Like I kind of like how he's rapping, and there's like a video of him
I
on
mean,
TMZ of him doing a freestyle. Have you seen that freestyle?
yeah, but what I mean is if that's like recorded in 2 days, and like that's where he's coming from at the moment, like I don't know what to expect from the album, but we got Lift Yourself on his website, and obviously that's like a big troll. Um, but the like everything before the verse, what I don't know if you could call it a verse, but everything before the verse is like for me, like it's classic Kanye, but it's like it's it's really good. I don't know how to describe it. It's just it's experimental yet has the right feeling to it of it being
Yeah,
a
the
Kanye song.
like the beat is OD. Like it's just so sick. Like the way how he has the sample chops at the beginning, and then
Yeah.
he goes this kind of like house kind of like dance beat.
Mm.
Like it's very reminiscent of Yeezus, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And
it is.
it's like a
Yeah.
mix between Yeezus and College Dropout Kanye in one. Like I don't know how he's done the beat, but then that verse is fucking. I don't know if he was taking take the piss out of us or
He was basically a big troll because he tweeted beforehand saying to Ebro, from Hot 97, he was like, "This like, I'm dropping this next track is straight fire. This verse is the hottest you'll hear all year." And then it was like, "Skip diddy poop poop."
scoopity whoop whoop scoopity poop poop poopity coop.
But
Hey,
but I
poopity
think
poop.
I think it like it shows how good the song is that I've listened to that song like 20 times in the last day, and that's the verse that's on it.
I
Like,
just like the beat. The beat is just really
yeah,
hard.
I like the beat, but like, even like he's got that verse on it, but like, even with that, it's still a great song. And how many how many times can you say that like someone's made a great song with the words "scoop diddy poop doop" or whatever as the only words in the song that he
That's
sings? Like,
that's true. But the thing is as well, I like how the layout is as well for his website. Because the iMessage thing. By the way, Ye versus the People is on the website now as well as another iMessage. So I don't know if that's his new marketing scheme that how on the website now. What he's going to do is like every message is going to be a new song in lead up to the album, which is definitely coming out if he's releasing music. So
I mean, it makes sense that that's sort of what he's going for on his
on his Twitter,
Twitter a lot of the time. So he's been tweeting out when he did a what's it a Yeezy pop up, but he was tweeting out like screenshots of Dropbox on his phone. Like he wasn't just tweeting out the photos; he was tweeting out screenshots of his phone of the photos on Dropbox, as if it was like some sort of theme.
yeah, I like it's all he's he's a lot more smart than everyone gives him credit for, and I know they say he's
Yeah,
insane, and everything, but
but
it's very calculated.
I think he's playing on that. Like he plays on it so badly because he knows how he can not manipulate, but he knows how he can get something from that to benefit himself.
Yeah,
Obviously, like he's married to Kim K, and him chatting shit um, basically means that Kim K has to defend herself. So then he's like, "Oh, my wife rang me," which gets her involved, and then everyone's like, "Oh, Kim K's saying all this stuff now about Kanye. What's going on? Let me have a look." And it gets like all these people involved, like
Yeah,
in this stuff that's going on.
you got two massive like fan bases coming together. Like Kim K's reach and follow is probably way more than Kanye's. Like,
Oh yeah, weirdly, but yeah.
So you've got these massive fan bases coming over to each other, and then you've got Kylie's fan base there, you've got Chloe's fan base there, you got all these fan bases all coming over to Kanye just simply off affiliation and association, and you've got all these other celebrities that are tweeting, and it's all just getting really big. Like that was a really, really, really crazy day for Twitter, like when that was all going down with the whole Donald Trump thing. But I hope Kanye. I hope we hear some good raps on this album. I hope we hear an explanation. I want to know his thoughts, his feelings, why he's done this.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know. I'm guessing Ye versus the People isn't going to be on the album because it's recorded recently, but I feel like he sort of covers some of the stuff in that a little bit. He doesn't go like fully into detail, but I think if you listen to it, then he sort of is saying a lot of the stuff that people are trying to like ask questions about or wonder why he's doing stuff. And that doesn't mean you have to agree with it, but like at least he's doing it in a form that's like he's not just saying shit. He's then making like music out of it. And
then he's like musically backing it up, which is leading me to believe this is the album rollout. Whether it's a good album rollout or not, that's up to everyone else, isn't it? But
it's a controversial album rollout.
Yeah,
but
it is.
It's getting the attention that he wants, and
yeah,
I mean, whether his plan was to do this and then like make everyone not so much hate him, but like get confused and think he's crazy, and then bring that back by slowly releasing songs or what. I'm not sure what his plan is, but for me, like, I'm happy we're getting new Ye. He can have his own opinions, and that's up to him. Like, that doesn't affect that his music. As long as he doesn't cover that stuff in his music in certain ways, then that's fine with me. And I think you'll not like put words in your mouth, but I think you're probably going to be like on the same page as that, where as long as he doesn't cover certain issues within his music the wrong way, then
it's all about how to deal with, because he could have dealt with this whole situation a lot better than the way how he did. Like, I feel like people just didn't understand, but
I feel like that's just Ye.
Yeah, I feel like he just, it's just a whatever thing, man. It's just a whatever thing. But coming to the end now anyway, just a couple releases just to round off the episode. Obviously we said Ye versus the People. Wiley released Godfather 2, Beer Bongs and Bentleys by Post Malone. Nines released Crop Circle for anyone who likes to listen to UK rap. It's a very good album.
Janelle Monáe as well released.
Oh yeah, Janelle Monáe.
Dirty Computer.
She released a whole film as well to go with it. Go check it out. I heard it's supposed to be really cool. KLD by J. Cole. Lil B released mostly his mixtapes on streaming services. So go and check out The Bass God. Definitely recommend listening to Godfather. It's a very good Lil B mixtape. And Hoop Life. I think that is kind of it. There's a new internet song and video. It's pretty cool. And Kali Uchis has announced a new album to be coming out this year. So she's dropping 2 albums. She dropped one with Isolation, which is really good. It's featured on our playlist, I think, a couple times now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I don't really know any more releases. No. Oh, you. What about you, Tom? You good?
Yeah, I think we've covered everything. Again, as usual, all the music we covered this week and much more is included in the playlist. I do just want to give a quick shout out as well to a release we did forget. Starface and MF Doom did a collab album.
Oh yeah, I do. I've not checked that out, but there's a lot of videos and stuff.
Yeah, so there's a song of that in the playlist. Check it out. The album's different, but like I definitely recommend it. It's like it's classic rap, and that's good. Like it's different to what currently is happening, so it's a nice change. And some of the songs on there are really good. So I definitely recommend giving it a listen if you've not heard of it.
Starface always has really sick album art as well, like very comic book detailed like album art, and it's just I just love, as you've noticed from our podcast, we really like graphic design and doing our own artwork. We find it really gratifying to like create all of our own graphics and artwork and know that we've created everything ourselves from the ground up. So we really appreciate album art, and this week is inspired by an album we have already talked about, but we will let you see that when we release this episode to see if you can figure it out. Yeah, that's about it really. Final thoughts, Tom?
Final thoughts. I like the new Kanye.
Whoop dee dee scoop. Scoop dee dee whoop. Whoop. And then the scoop dee dee hey. Boom. That's my final thoughts.
Yeah. KanyeWest.com. Go and check out Lift Yourself. And
yeah.
Just give your opinion.
Yeah, just think like you just think about it. It's just one of them, innit? Like you just have to just take it how it comes, innit? Yeah, that's about it, really. Lock up R. Kelly. Everyone, we will cutting it off there.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, everyone. This is 808s and Joysticks, episode 6.